प्रस्यत देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिविचार्य अष्टोत्तर सहस्र डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिविचार्य अष्टोत्तर सहस्र डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सुध गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोधाम की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय, मथुरा धाम की जय, मायापुर नगरी धाम की जय, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, गंगा मई जमुना मई की जय, तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की जय, समवेत भक्तवृंद की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All wish Guru and Gaurang.
Welcome everybody to Srimad Bhagavatam with His Holiness Jayādvaita Swami. It is Tuesday, June 24th, 2025, and today we're starting with Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 17, Text 34. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Ash Pandipur, would you like to read
Yeah,
text
sure.
4?
Yeah, text number 34. This is Canto 4, Chapter 17, Srimad Bhagavatam. And the chapter entitled Maharaj Prithu becomes angry at the earth. Text number 34. Savai bhavanatma vinimritam jagat bhutendriyanta karanatmakam vibho sansapaishya naja mam rasatala dabhyujharas visva adi sukaraha. My dear Lord, you are always unborn. Once in the form of the original boar, you rescued me from the waters in the bottom of the universe. Through your own energy, you created all the physical elements, the senses, and the heart for the maintenance of the world. This refers to the time when Lord Krishna appeared as the supreme boar Varaha and rescued the earth, which had been merged in water. The Asura Hiranyaksha had dislocated the earth from its orbit and thrown in beneath the water of Garbhodak ocean. When the Lord, in the shape of the original boar, rescued the earth. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Shimade Bhakti Chara Swami Namine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Shimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyam Prasaditai. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So the dialogue continued between the earth, who assumed the shape of a cow, and Maharaj Prithu. So Maharaj Prithu became very angry when earth did not give plenty sufficient food grain. So it's continue now, and Mother Earth, Bhumi, reminded Prithu Maharaj, who is Satyavesha avatar, incarnation of Krishna. She reminded him that you saved me from the hand of a demon. When the demon Hiranyaksha outbalanced the earth, and the earth went down to Garbhodak ocean. So at that, when it was required to have earth relocation, then Lord Krishna, in the form of Lord Varahadev, went to that Garbhodak ocean and brought the earth into the orbit, into a good shape. So meanwhile, at that time, there was a big fight between Lord Varahadev and Hiranyaksha, and Hiranyaksha was killed. And this way, Lord Varahadev rescued Mother Earth. So over here, she's reminding Prithu Maharaj that you are the one who saved me from the Garbhodak ocean. And maybe this will soften Maharaj Prithu's heart. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Guru Maharaj, do you have any comments here?
We're good. Thank you.
I can go on 35.
please.
Apapmupaste mai navyavastitaha prajabhavandya rirakshishu kila sa vira murtihi samabudvaradasro yomam payasugrashayo jidhan sasi jidhan sasi. My dear Lord, in this way, you once protected me by rescuing me from the water, and consequently, your name has been famous as the Radhara, he who holds the planet Earth. Yet, at the present moment, in the form of a great hero, you are about to kill me with sharpened arrows. I am, however, just like a boat on the water, keeping everything afloat. The Lord is known as Dharadhar, meaning he who keeps the planet Earth on his tusk as the boar incarnation. Thus, the planet Earth is in the shape of a cow, is accounting the coordinatory act of the Lord. Although he once saved the earth, he now wants to upset the earth, which is like a boat on water. No one can understand the activities of the Lord. Due to a poor fund of knowledge, human beings sometimes thinks the Lord's activities contradictory. This reminds me that verse in Bhagavad Gita, Avajananti mam buddha manusyam tanum ashritam parambhava majanto nomabhuti maheshwaram. So fools deride me when I appear in the human form of life. And they don't know my supreme power or supreme being as supreme person in Godhead. Because they are muda, foolish. And Mother Earth is reminding Prithu Maharaj that, look, you saved me once, now you are ready to kill me. Actually, she didn't understand the mood of Prithu Maharaj. Later on, we will see that why she is upholding the, not giving so much grain. It will come later on in this chapter. So now, after reminding him, oh yeah, and then the Lord is known as Dharadhara, one who holds the planet Earth. So Krishna in the form of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, and Mahavishnu, does all the keeping all the planets of the universe in place. Also in the form of Sheshana. Also he's holding the whole universe. Later on we will see in the 5th canto the whole universe, how it's structured and everything. And the last line, due to poor fund of knowledge, human beings sometimes think the Lord's activities contradictory. There is no contradiction, but because the poor fund of knowledge or because of the foolishness, they think that. Thank you very much, Maharaj. Please.
Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashchacha Deshatari. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments, the Lord, holder of the earth, the Bor Avatar, desired to protect the citizens situated in me, the form of a boat on top, upaste, of the water. You who are my husband now desire to kill me for milk. The meaning is this: your progeny were my children, situated in my lap, and I constantly nourish them with milk. Seeing their evil ways at this time, I, as a mother, teaching them good character, have become angry and do not supply milk. And you, the master of the house, now punish me. So in this way, Earth is putting her plea, apam upaste mai navyavastita. I'm like a boat, navi, with all of the living entities, praja, your living entities, your offspring, praja pavan. They're protected by me, situated in me. But now Viramurti, in this heroic form, you're trying to kill me. But you're Dharadhara, the upholder of the earth, and specifically the Varaha. You upheld the earth when it was thrown down into the lower planetary, well, into the water of Garbhodad. You lifted me. In these two verses, the Varahadev is being referenced. So now why are you trying to kill me? All right. Hare Krishna.
Haribati Prabhu, are you there? Would you like to read?
Which words? Sorry, I don't know.
Okay, we just read. Oh, Mahesh Pandit Prabhu, which one did you read?
The last one now, 36.
Okay.
That was the last words.
Last verse, number 36.
Oh, okay. I have to read 36. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to read 36.
Okay. Nunam jana etam ishwaranam asmad vidaitat guna sargamaya na gayate mohita chitta vartma bhi tebhyo namo yasa karebhyaha. Sorry, I forgot. Om Ajnanatimindasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurmitanyena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Kurutas Jayādvaita Swami. My dear Lord, I am also the creation of one of your energies, composed of the three modes of material nature. Consequently, I am bewildered by your activities. Even the activities of your devotees cannot be understood, and what to speak of your pastimes. Thus, everything appears to us to be contradictory and wonderful. Purport. The activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his various forms and incarnations are always uncommon and wonderful. It is not possible for a tiny human being to estimate the purpose and plans of such activities. Therefore, Srila Jiva Goswami has said that unless the Lord's activities are accepted as inconceivable, they cannot be explained. The Lord is eternally existing as Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in Golaka Vrindavan. He has also simultaneously expanded himself in innumerable forms, beginning with Lord Ram, Lord Nrsimha, Lord Varaha, and all the incarnations coming directly from Sankarshan. Sankarshan is the expansion of Baldev, and Baldev is the first manifestation of Krishna. Therefore, all these incarnations are known as Kala. The word Ishvaranam refers to all the personalities of Godhead, as stated in Brahma Samhita. Ramadi Murti Sukalaniyamena Tishtan. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is confirmed that all the incarnations are partial expansions or Kala of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should not take the plural number of the word Ishvaranam to mean that there are many Godheads. The fact is that God is one, but He exists eternally and expands Himself in innumerable forms and acts in various ways. Sometimes the common man is bewildered by all this and considers such activities contradictory. But they are not contradictory. There is a great plan behind all the Lord's activities. For our understanding, it is sometimes said that the Lord is situated in the heart of the thief, as well as in the heart of the householder. But the supersoul in the heart of the thief dictates, go and steal things from that particular house. And at the same time, the Lord tells the householder, now be careful of thieves and burglars. These instructions to different persons appear contradictory. Yet we should know that the Supersoul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has some plan, and we should not consider such activities contradictory. The best course is to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead wholeheartedly, and being protected by Him, remain peaceful. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Gurutas Jayādvaita Swami. Yeah. So we see this is the last verse of this chapter. Maharaj Petu becomes angry at the earth, and Mother Earth is praying to the Supreme Lord that I'm bewildered by your activities. And in one of his form as Lord Varaha, Bhudevi is the consort of Lord Varaha, the wife of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And all the offsprings from them are, she is providing them and nourishing them with milk. And here the Lord is ready to kill Mother Earth because she's accepting her share of offerings in the yajna, but not at the same time providing foodstuff to the citizens. Whereas the king, Pitu Maharaj, is taking that action, though she has come in the form of a cow. So the Lord's activities are inconceivable. They cannot be understood by any research or by our mental speculation. By our material blunt senses, we cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As mentioned, Atase Krishna Namadina Bhavet Grahayam Indrayai. By our blunt material senses, we cannot understand. Unless the senses are anointed by the love of Godhead, Premanjana Surita Bhakti Vilochanena, we cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are innumerable in his various expansions. And his expansions, right? Like Lord Balaram being his first primary expansion, and then through him the first Chaturvya expansion comes, and ultimately so many expansions. Kala appears in different forms, and the activities of the Lord is inconceivable. Right? It cannot be understood unless one completely surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's how Mother Earth is mentioning, after all, I am also creation of one of your energies, consisting of the three gunas. I offer my respects to you, the bringer of fame to those celebrated for charity. Right? So, unless one surrenders onto the Supreme Personality of Godhead with full faith, one cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah. That's all I had. Guru Maharaj, would you like to add something?
Jayate mohita chitta partmapi. I'm bewildered, and others are also bewildered. The devas muhyantiya sudaya. We can't understand your activities. Therefore, it appears contradictory. In ordinary dealings, ordinary logic, we say, if it was like this, then it should be like that. What is it? The law of consistency, law of similar cases. Similar cases should be dealt with in similar ways. So if you did it this way on Tuesday, you should do it that way on Friday. But the Lord is beyond all such conventions, all such restrictions, all such considerations. He does things according to his own will, his own plan, his own discretion. And mohita chitta, we're bewildered by such things because we don't understand. We don't understand. The Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has purport. Though the wives of the Devatas or their sons and servants may believe you will kill me, I do not believe that you will. Your desire is not understood by persons like wives, sons, or servants of the Devatas, who wander about by the Lord's ignorance, Maya, in the bodies of Devatas, men and animals, Guna, that have taken shelter of your feet, at Chitta Vartmapi. I offer respects to him who brings fame to the persons renowned for charity. If you are not merciful to me, then the fame of charitable persons will be gone. So he comments on that Vira Yasha Karebya, the person who makes the famous persons famous. Karebya, the doer, the person who brings Yasha, fame, to the heroes, to the famous, to the valiant persons. It's you who make the valiant valiant. And here, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that this heroism consists of charity. You make the charitable persons charitable. So why should you not be charitable to me? So thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 4th canto, 17th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Maharaj Prithu Becomes Angry at the Earth. Hare Krishna.
Pradesha Prabhu writes, in this verse, Vira Yasa Prabhya seems to reflect back on the last verse, Vira Murti. You are famous and heroic, and you give fame and heroism to others. So don't destroy your fame, or everyone will be counted unreliable heroes. I have a question, Guru Maharaj. What is meant by the word original? Here, how is Prabhupada using original? And you're muted, Guru Maharaj.
Right. Adi Shukra in the previous verse, original. Adi Govindam Adi Purusham. He's the original person, and he's the original everything. What is that? Yes. Adyam Purana Purusham. He's Sarvakarna Karna. So he's the original boar. He's the original fish. He's the original horse. He's the original everything. He's the original Adi. What's the word? Mental speculators think that the Lord's form is anthropomorphic. The original is what we find here in the material world, and the Lord is an imaginary copy. He's envisioned as a fish, as a or as a this, as that. They think the starting place is material nature, or the material forms that they see. The Bhagavatam rejects this. It says, no, the form of the Lord is original. And it's interesting, how can, even if they think that they've explained everything by reference to sociological understandings and human psychology, all right, let's say you're very clever, you figured this all out. Now you please tell us what the origin of everything is. That's the question at the beginning of Vedanta Sutra and in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam. What's the greatest Janmadyasya, the origin of everything? So what is that origin of everything? Do you think that your products of material nature are the origin of everything? That human beings are the origin of everything? That the prototypes or the forms found in the material world are the origin of everything? How does that work? Atoms are the origin of everything. Hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen are the beginning of everything. Somehow they want to make the origin of everything something within the scope of their investigative powers. That should be the origin of everything, something that we can measure, something that we know, something that we can perceive. Why should we go with these backward people who think there's something beyond, which is the origin of everything? It's right here. All right, it's right here. You explain to me how everything comes from whatever it is that you want to designate as the source of everything. Even if you're very clever and you what's the word, dismiss all forms and incarnations of the personality of Godhead as mythology, you're nowhere. You don't know anything. You don't know what the origin of everything is. And you don't even have means by which to know. You can know only if it comes within the scope of your scientific method, and your scientific method doesn't extend beyond what you can somehow perceive or at least extrapolate by some sort of speculative process. So you're in the dark. That's the best you're going to do. You'll be in the dark and you'll dismiss Vedic knowledge as just sentimentality or superstition. That's your loss. It's your loss. From Bhagavatam, from all the scriptures of the world, we find God is the origin of everything. Not your atoms or organic compounds or singularities or what have you. There's an original conscious source of everything. And you can't accept that because of your poor fund of knowledge, your paucity of pious credits, and your stubborn obstinacy. What is that? You've taken a vow to reject the personality of Godhead. It's your religion, it's your dogma, it's your creed. There can't be a person in charge. then you're not going to understand. You'll be, as Mesh pointed out, muta. You'll be a muta. Avajanati mam. The scoffing at the personality of Godhead, but not being able to explain anything by any other means. That's your misfortune. Hare Krishna.
Very much. I'm also wondering how original is used with respect to the other expansions of Krishna. Like,
Adyam Purana, what is that? Advaita Machutam Anadim Anantarupam Adyam Purana Purusham. All these forms are the same personality of Godhead. Varaha is not somebody different. Nrsingadev is not somebody different. Mahavishnu is not somebody different. Prithu Maharaj is not somebody different. They're all the same personality of Godhead. And he is the Adi Purusha, the origin of everything. So Adyam. Or, as pointed out in this purport, there may be so many forms of the personality of Godhead, but still one is the original form. Ete chamsa kala pumsa krishnastu bhagavan. All the other manifestations of Godhead are partial manifestations, part of a partial manifestation. But Krishna is the original full manifestation of Godhead. So from that point of view also, he's Adi. Is that okay?
yes, very much. And then we have something in the chat. Saraswati Mastery writes, Pranams Param Puja Maharaj and all the Vaishnavas. Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are avatari, origin of all incarnations, expansions.
Yes. Shall we move on to the next chapter?
Yeah. Radesha Prabhu, are you available to read?
I am here. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Gurudasa Jayādvaita Swaminiti Namane. I had one small thought because a couple of these verses were mentioning contradictions. The Adyam Purana Purusham Naviyovanamcha. His Holiness Bhakti Abhay Ashram Maharaj here in Hawaii shared with me, or he shared in a class, that Jiva Goswami's commentary on that 33rd verse says that Purana is not contradictory with Navayovana, because in addition to meaning old, Purana, it also means Pura, although existing previously, Nava, it's ever fresh. So the Supreme Lord, although being the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, he's Nava, he's ever fresh. Navayovanamcha. All right. Text 1, chapter 18. Oh, did you have something, Gurumaj? Sorry.
No, carry on.
Maitreya Uvacha. Ittam pratumabhishtuya rusha praspuritadharam punar ahavanir sangstabhyatmanamatmana. The great Saint Maitreya continued to address Vidura. My dear Vidura, at that time, after the planet Earth finished her prayers, King Prithu was still not pacified, and his lips trembled in great anger. Although the planet Earth was frightened, she made up her mind and began to speak as follows, in order to convince the king. Text 2. Saniyachabhibhomanyum nibodha shavitam chame sarvata saramadatte yata madhukaro buddha. My dear Lord, please pacify your anger completely and hear patiently whatever I submit before you. Please turn your kind attention to this. I may be very poor, but a learned man takes the essence of knowledge from all places, just as a bumblebee collects honey from each and every flower. Is that Niti Shastra that has one should accept gold from a filthy place, a good wife from a bad family? Text 3. Asmil loke tavamushmin munibhistatvadarshibhi drishta yoga prayuktascha pungsangshya prasiddhaye. To benefit all human society, not only in this life but in the next, the great seers and sages have prescribed various methods conducive to the prosperity of the people in general. Vedic civilization takes advantage of the perfect knowledge presented in the Vedas and presented by great sages and brahmanas for the benefit of human society. Vedic injunctions are known as Shruti, and the additional supplementary presentations of these principles, as given by the great sages, are known as Smriti. They follow the principles of Vedic instruction. Human society should take advantage of the instructions from both Shruti and Smriti. If one wants to advance in spiritual life, he must take these instructions and follow the principles. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami says that if one poses himself as advanced in spiritual life, but does not refer to the Shrutis and Smritis, he is simply a disturbance in society. One should follow the principles laid down in Shrutis and Smritis, not only in one's spiritual life, but in material life as well. As far as human society is concerned, it should follow the Manu Smriti as well, for these laws are given by Manu, the father of mankind. In the Manu Smriti, it is stated that a woman should not be given independence, but should be given protection by her father, husband, and elderly sons. In all circumstances, a woman should remain dependent upon some guardian. Presently, women are given full independence like men, but actually we can see that such independent women are no happier than those women who are placed under guardians. If people follow the injunctions given by the great sages, Shrutis and Smritis, they can actually be happy in both this life and the next. Unfortunately, rascals are manufacturing so many ways and means to be happy. Everyone is inventing so many methods. Consequently, human society has lost the standard ways of life, both materially and spiritually. And as a result, people are bewildered and there is no peace or happiness in the world. Although they are trying to solve the problems of human society in the United Nations, they are still baffled. Because they do not follow the liberated instructions of the Vedas, they are unhappy.
Maybe you can deal with that much. So.
Okay. I just had one small thought, and then I'll pass it to you, Guru Maharaj. The only thought that came to my mind was in Father's Day class last Sunday. Ashram Maharaj quoted Shrutamapare Smritamitare Bharatamanye Bhajantu Bhavabhitaha. And so in this verse, or in the first three verses, a lot of the anger of Prithu Maharaj is being expressed here. And so those who are intelligent, out of fear of material existence, they take shelter of the Shrutis and Smritis. And if you don't, Uspataya eva kalpate, as mentioned, Srila Prabhupada mentioned, then it's just a disturbance in society. But this verse says, Ahamiha nandam vande, yasyalinde param brahma. But as far as I'm concerned, I have no fear of material existence. I don't worship the Shrutis or the Smritis or the Mahabharata. I just worship Nanda Maharaj, in whose courtyard the Supreme Absolute Truth is crawling in his courtyard. So I thought that was significant. Of course, for most of us, we can worship the Shrutis and Smritis out of fear or love, whatever causes us to do so. But Srila Prabhupada says following the Manu Smriti will make us happy both materially and spiritually. And that theme is reflected throughout Shastra and throughout Srila Prabhupada's teachings. What in the second chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, the soul becomes happy, but Srila Prabhupada says that that also can refer to the mind, body, and senses. Yayatma suprasidati. The Atma can refer to the mind, body, and senses. So Srila Prabhupada says, worshiping the Lord, you're not the loser materially either. All right, Guru Maharaj.
Shastra Vidimutreja Vartate Karma Karata Nasa Siddhim Avapnoti Sukham Naparangatim in the Bhagavad Gita. If we neglect the Shruti, Smriti, Shastra, then Nasa Siddhim Avapnoti, we won't attain perfection. Nasukam, we won't even be happy. Naparamgatim, and to say nothing of achieving supreme destination. So even in ordinary affairs, that's Prabhupada's point. One has to follow the standard thing. Tasmat Shastra Pramanante Karya Karya Vivastito. One should follow Shastric directions in order to know what is to be done and what is not to be done. But in the modern setup of things, there's no standard. Everybody just, well, it seems to me, I feel like my path is, everybody is encouraged to be an individual and to be bewildered by material nature. And Prabhupada's point is salient here, that whatever you think of women's liberation, it's good, it's bad, women aren't happier. Women aren't happier. That's his what would you say, his judgment or his observation that, all right, they weren't liberated, now they're liberated. Are you happier now? No. You're taking all of, what are those, antidepressants and this and that. Are you happier now that you're able to have an abortion and kill your own embryo? That's brought you happiness. Yes, now I have control over my body, so I'm happier. You have control over your body, but not over your senses. So what is the meaning of, where's the happiness? To be used and rejected, how does that make you happy? So Prabhupada's, and for the men also, how are they happy? Just being, I won't go into it. They're not happy either, married to such women or partnered up with such women. They're not happy. So no one has become happier by their own devised ways, independent ways, declaring themselves free from the old conventions and striking out into bold new territory. They're just as miserable and more. So, Tasmat Shastra Pramanante. One is advised to follow even taking, we don't like Shastras, we don't like scriptures that tell us what to do. All right, follow the words of those who are wise. You're just following the words, slogans, something that can fit on a t-shirt. That's your wisdom. The latest speculation, the latest trend, the latest catchphrase, that's your wisdom. Why don't you take advantage of those who are, whose wisdom has lasted, those who are still respected for the gravity of their thought, for the depth of their understanding? Why don't you go there instead of just catching the latest wave and thinking that you're going to do something new? It doesn't work. Hare Krishna.
A hand from Saraswati Masters.
I just wanted to add that a common general consensus when I hear women, the modern woman, who on the one hand will rave about how she's financially independent and she has this strength to strike out on her own. And when you flip on the flip side is that they're the first ones to then lament about how they feel insecure. There isn't that stability that they need to meet their emotional needs because the modern man doesn't want to commit. So really, the woman who is dependent on her true well-wishers, father, husband, sons, they're really in the position of power because they know they're valued and they're cared for. And which is the complete opposite of these modern women that are easy targets and prey for predatory men that are just going to use and abuse them. They're going to be passed around and passed up like some commodity that's traded. Women have certain needs, and they have a natural inclination to nurture, to care for, and when that's not when a platform to express that isn't accessible, then they can't really become these positive contributors to society, ones that care for future generations. So it's really quite sad that these women are so mixed up. They'll go out and spend so much money on makeup and beauty products in order to then go and attract men so that somebody will be willing to marry them. And they don't realize that all this, even if their beauty is appreciated, that's just skin deep. It's meaningless once that beauty withers, which with age it will. Their values, they're not going to be valued. It's just so external and superficial. Hare Krishna.
Even materially, they'll spend so much makeup and so on, and that's in their 40s and in their 50s and in their 60s because they have no husband, they have no devoted children. So now in their later years, they have to somehow fool some man into accepting them and their children, or accepting them and taking care of them. But it's unfortunate. We have the purport to finish.
Two significant words used in this verse are usman and amushman. Usman means in this life, and amushman means in the next life. Unfortunately, in this age, even exalted professors and learned men believe that there is no next life, and that everything is finished in this life. Since they are rascals and fools, what advice can they give? Still, they are passing as learned scholars and professors. In this verse, the word amushman is very explicit. It is the duty of everyone to mold his life in such a way that he will have a profitable life, a profitable next life. Just as a boy is educated in order to become happy later, one should be educated in this life in order to attain an eternal and prosperous life after death. It is therefore essential that people follow what is given in the Shrutis and Smritis to make sure that the human mission is successful. In another Sangha I'm a part of, we're going through Maharaj Rahugana's discussions with Jud Bharat, the Forest of Material Enjoyment. And in the last two verses of the first of the two chapters, amushman is used there also. And it says, Brahman janodyapi naveda kashana, that they're wandering throughout this life and wandering toward the next life. And even adyapi, even up until the point of death, naveda kashana, they don't know anything. Like, they're so confused in the forest of material enjoyment that they have no direction where they are now or where they're going. And so Srila Prabhupada is making this point that we should utilize the benefit we have of the Shrutis and Smritis and show superior intelligence, that not only am I thinking of cultivating a nice position this lifetime, but I have some thought as to where I'll be going in the next life. And Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur furthers this idea that the milk is obtained by milking the full udder of the cow, not just from a strained or torn udder. Therefore, take all the food situated in me by the proper method. To express this, she shows the proof of the method. Methods have been acknowledged by the sages for this life, such as agriculture, and for next life, such as sacrifices, and have been put into practice, prayuktaha. So both in this life and in the next, our supreme benefit will be achieved through shrutis and smritis. That shows true intelligence, shreyas and prayas, the long-term intelligence of recognizing that our future destination matters even more. I was going to say as much, but more than our current. And not in a, my uncle actually had a long argument with me. He's a Jewish fellow. And he was saying that in your Christian conscious philosophy, you always seem to be amplifying what happens after death, that you're doing all of this, but to some end. And I tried to explain to him the concept of Jivan Mukta Suchite, that even in this lifetime, our activities are not different from this life to the next. When you chant Hare Krishna, it's the means and the end. It's the relationship with the holy name. It's the relationship with Srimad Bhagavatam. It's not that after death, I'll be doing something completely different. So yes, Guru Maharaj, any final thoughts?
Seems that Vishnath is commenting on yoga prayukta, application of the method. There should be some appropriate method, not that we just do things. There's a method. There's an accepted means, a way that's shown by the wise or shown by the Lord. One should accept that method. Why insist, no, I have to do it a different way? I'll just accept it and be happy. Hare Krishna.
We have 3 minutes and 2 things in the chat. So should we take these 2 things tomorrow and do kirtan, or what do you think?
Small things, read them off.
Okay. Question from Pritipurna Madhavi Mastery. Hare Krishna Maharaj. How do we define the independence of women practically, which is contrary to religious principles?
That independence means, well, independence itself is contrary to religious principles, especially sex life here and there and everywhere. It's totally contrary to religious principles. Everything done in, what's the word, that's contrary to Shastra is contrary to religious principles. One hardly has to define it. It's like everything. It's all contrary. The whole modern way of life in which women are independent is contrary to religious principles. And therefore it's a source of unhappiness for the woman, for the man, and for the children. How happy is it to have a family that's split up, where you have, your father's married to someone else, your mother's married to somebody else, where your husband's married, your father's married to somebody else, your mother's dating this one, that one, the other one. In other words, having sex with all these different men. How happy is that for the son, for the children? How happy is it to be, visiting your father once every 2 weeks, flying to some other city? It's contrary to religious principles. Yes.
Saraswati Mataji writes, I was hearing Srila Prabhupada blast Charvaka Muni, whose propaganda is eat, drink, and be merry by hook or crook, and with the end of life, any sins incurred end with the body.
Yes. That's a large topic, but yes.
Okay. Krishna Prabhu, are you available to lead kirtan? I'm going to drop off, so others can do the close up. Krishakunti Prabhu, are you available?
I led, okay.
Oh, did I miss?
I led yesterday.
Oh, I see. It's because I missed that part.
Mhm.
Radhesha.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nita Gaur, Ramanande, Hari Hari Bo, Ma Vishnu Buddha, Krishna Vastaya Bhutale, Srimati Guru Das Maharaj, Iti Namine, Ma Om Vishnu Buddha, Krishna Vastaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine, Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda, Jai Sri Guru Angaranga. Hare Krishna, Haribol.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai,
His Divine Grace Jayādvaita Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Ajivarya really liked your kirtan, Krishna Kanteya Prabhu, my son. He was dancing to your singing.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Gurudev,
Srila
Hare
Prabhupada
Krishna.
ki Jai.
Jai,
Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai.
Jai.
Gaur Premanande.
Haribol,
Haribol.
Haribol, Haribol, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Maharaj, Gurudev, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.